What is up, everybody? Welcome to the MMA Engine. These are my final thoughts for UFC Vegas 58. We have Rafael Fiziev going against Rafael dos Anjos. We have 12 fights on the card. We were going to have originally like 14. We lost like 3. And then luckily we do have David Onama back on the card. Looking forward to that fight as well. Before we get started, guys, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. As always, it is much, much appreciated. Let's keep growing the channel. I think we're almost at like 1.2K subs. So thank you guys so much for that. It does go a long, long way. Probably going to be a little bit of a shorter stream tonight. I'm not feeling too well, but a couple spots to talk about. I mean, this card is as sketchy as you can get. I have 3 bets on this card. It's going to be my lightest week of the year. Just not a ton sticking out. And on cards like this, I mean, bankroll management is key. Like, do you really want to bet on Jared Vanderaa? Do you really want to bet on a Michael Johnson fight? Do you really want to bet on Kennedy Nzechukwu, Karl Roberson? Do you want to bet on Cynthia, Calvillo, Nina Nunes? Do you want to bet on Antonina, Shevchenko, Courtney, Casey? I do not want to do any of that. But I do have 3 spots that I do like, but not my most confident card in the world. I'm going to save my ammo for next week, the next 3 weeks, actually. Next week, we have Long Island, I think is a much better betting card. In 2 weeks, we have UFC London, which I think is a phenomenal betting card with a ton of violence. And then UFC 277 to close the month. So kept it light last week. I had 4 bets, 2 and 2 for slight profit. This week is even lighter, 3 bets, lots of passing, lots of sketchy spots, but a saving the ammo for these next 3 cards. So we'll hit up the chat, and then we will get started here. We have the first one in the chat is Tony saying, "What's up, Brady? I hear you with that winning streak. I have heard of 1-800-GAMBLER fights, but this is a 1-800-GAMBLER card. Absolutely. Just multiple 1-800-GAMBLER fights, like Vanderaa, 1-800-GAMBLER, Michael Johnson, 1-800-GAMBLER, Nunes, Calvillo, 1-800-GAMBLER, Shevchenko, Casey, 1-800-GAMBLER, Kennedy Nzechukwu, Karl Roberson, 1-800-GAMBLER. Just a ton of spots, ton of fights I'm just staying away from. Thomas, what is up? Good luck, boys. This one might be a wild ride, 100%. We got Sean in the chat. What is up, Sean? How you doing? What is up, Dylan? Let's go. Good luck this week, guys. Good luck to you as well. Embrace the DFS chaos. Absolutely. Jeremiah in the chat as well. What is up, Jeremiah? Bill in the chat. Time to hammer down on this sketchy card. I am not hammering anything, Bill. I'm trying to keep it as light as possible. I was almost just going to have 1 bet this week if the Onama fight did not get onto the card, but ended up with 3. And I think 3 feels like too many even then. What is up, Yoltz, me, Demonic? What is up? How you doing? Let's get this bread. I agree. Donald in the chat. What is up, Donna? How you doing? Good luck to you as well. Eric saying, what is up, Brady? What is up, Eric? How you doing? Good luck to you. Lauren in the chat. What is up? Papa Chuck saying it's almost time. It is time. Philip in the chat as well. Justin in the chat. We got Steven in the chat. What is up? All right. I say we get into it. If you have any questions in the chat, as always, Glenn I see you. Just type them in and we'll get to them. Kind of be, like I said, a shorter video as I am not feeling that great. All right. Ronnie Lawrence, Said Yakub, Kakhramonov. Yeah, I think there's 2 ways to play this. If you like the Ronnie Lawrence side, you probably take a look at Ronnie Lawrence by decision, which is plus 140. If you like Said Yakub, Kakhramonov, you probably take a look at that inside the distance or that scorecards equals no action. And I saw on Bet Online, it's like minus 180 for the scorecards equals no action, the finish only. But on FanDuel, they call it a decision no bet for Kakhramonov. It was like minus 134. I don't know if it's still there, but that kind of intrigued me there because if there's a finish in this fight, it's going to be Kakhramonov. I struggle to see Ronnie Lawrence getting a finish here. Kakhramonov dangerous anywhere the fight goes, knockout threat, submission threat. I do lean on the Ronnie Lawrence side myself. I know a lot of people are, strong takes either way, but I really like the pace of Ronnie Lawrence. I like the takedown upside. The guy averages over 9 takedowns per 15 minutes, a 78% takedown accuracy, just unheard of. So I like him a lot for DraftKings. Ronnie Lawrence, 8,400, going to be very popular and rightfully so. This guy is DraftKings gold, but I don't mind some shots on Kakhramonov, 7,800, because if he does win, it is probably inside the distance. So I like Ronnie Lawrence myself, especially on DraftKings. No bet for this fight on the first fight of the night, but this should be a fun one. This is probably the best fight on the entire card, and it's the first fight of the night, which is it's wild, but it is what it is. Give me Ronnie Lawrence for the first fight of the night, but Kakhramonov, this guy's a beast. He's 26 years old. I think both guys have extremely high ceilings. Donald's saying it's going to be a fun card. Yeah, I think it's fun. Just a lot of sketchy fights. I think from a fan perspective, it should definitely deliver, but from a betting perspective, I'm like, there's some fights I don't want to bet on. But move on to the next fight. We have Kennedy Nzechukwu going against Karl Roberson. I feel like this should be a straight pick 'em because how can you really trust either guy? You have Kennedy Nzechukwu, who he has all the physical tools. He's 6'5". He has an 83-inch reach. It's just I don't know if the skill is there. This is a guy that we've been saying it for years. He's green, and we keep on saying he's green. When is he going to put it together? I don't know if he ever will. Just weird. Like all his fights are extremely weird. The Darko Stosic fight was weird. He got kicked in the nuts like 5 times, won a decision that way. The Olberg fight was weird. He was getting his ass whooped for an entire round and a half, and then comes back and gets to finish. The Danilo Marquez fight was weird. The Nega Mariano fight was weird. Like all this guy's fights are weird. Why would I want to bet on this guy? On the flip side, you have Karl Roberson, who this guy extremely untrustworthy. He's been finished 5 times. He's low volume. This is a mess. This is an absolute mess. I would never touch this fight. And honestly, if you forced me to bet, it would probably be Roberson because Roberson's the more skilled fighter. Kennedy has the physical tools, the volume, but in terms of skill, it's Karl Roberson. But how can you trust Karl Roberson? How can you trust either guy? I guess one spot I was looking at was the over 1.5 rounds, and then I ended up passing because I just don't want to put any money on this fight. And after watching Kennedy get knocked out by an elbow that hit the forearm, I'm like, I don't know. And then on top of that, Roberson's finished in all 5 of his losses. So this is an unbettable fight for me. Like you guys are saying in the chat, like this is a 1-800-gambler fight on a 1-800-gambler card, and I will not be betting this fight, and I feel pretty good just passing. As far as a pick, I'll take Kennedy because I can trust him to throw volume, and I like the physical tools, but skill for skill, I think the more skilled fighter is Karl Roberson, but will it matter? I don't know. We'll have to see, but yeah, this is a big pass for me. On DraftKings, even on DraftKings, I don't like this fight. 8,200 for Kennedy. Don't like it. 8,000 for Roberson, maybe. I just don't love anything in this fight from a betting or DraftKings perspective, honestly. Let's get Uncle Weezy back in the black. Yeah, Uncle Weezy did have a winning night. Me and Uncle Weezy both did last week. Both slight winning nights, but it was nice to see Weezy get back in the black there. That face-off was wild. Kennedy and Roberson. Yeah, Kennedy is much, much bigger. This guy's huge for the division. I'm on Karl. Only lost by submissions to great BJJ guys like Glover, Brendan Allen, Vittori. I don't see Roberson getting subbed. That's a good point. Another good point is, yeah, Kennedy is definitely not Glover, Brendan Allen, or Vittori. So, yeah, I don't hate taking a shot on Roberson, but I can't bet any money on either of these guys. Just both are so untrustworthy. Karl got slept by Khalil. He could get slept. I'll tell you right now, there's a big, big difference between Khalil Roundtree and Kennedy and Nzechukwu. But it could happen. It could happen. But Roundtree hits like a truck. Mushroom in the chat. Nice seeing you, Mushroom. What's up, Brady? What's up, chat? How you doing? Hopefully you are well. We'll keep moving on, guys. We have my first bet of the night. We have David Onama going against Garrett Armfield. And like I said, I was going to have like one bet on this card. And then this spot stuck out. I like the violence in this fight. David Onama, a 100% finish rate. All of his wins come under 2.5 rounds. I think he has like one win or so in the 3rd round, but all of his wins come under 2.5 rounds. Garrett Armfield, at first it said he had a 100% finish rate, and I went and watched tape on the guy. I literally saw him win a decision. I guess they changed that, but Armfield has finished all but one of his wins inside the distance. So, 20 fights combined, Onama 100% finish rate, and then Armfield an 87% finish rate. And I like violence here. The thing is, these guys have fought before. They fought as an amateur, and it did go to decision. But if you go back and watch that fight, the rounds were only 3 minutes long, and Onama was he won every round. The size was definitely a factor there. He was able to dictate where the fight took place, and he was able to just beat up Armfield for 3 rounds there. I think the finish does happen here. I think Onama has completely leveled up. This guy's super dangerous. He hits like a truck. On top of that, Armfield coming in on like 3 days notice is bad. Armfield coming up a weight class is not a good look. He's a 135er. This will actually be his first professional fight out of 10 fights that is going to be at 145 pounds. So not only is he coming up a weight class for the first time, coming in on short notice, but he's fighting an absolute beast in David Onama. I think Onama knocks him out and probably does it in the very first round. So I like violence here. I like the fight doesn't go, and money's pouring in on the decision. And I figured it wouldn't be like something crazy like -400 fight doesn't go, because they did go to decision before and people were going to look at that. And then also this is a featherweight fight, which featherweight fights don't finish as much as other divisions. But I feel like Onama does go out here and continue that 100% finish rate and finish Garrett Armfield. So I like the fight doesn't go minus 225. It's like minus 195 on 5 dimes. That's nuts to me. And then the under 2.5 is where I have it. I bet it at minus 175. I have 2 units on it. And I bet if you just wait, you probably get that at a better price. So I guess I jumped the gun a little bit too early. Didn't think I would get a better price of minus 175, but it looks like action's coming in the other way. I think Onama takes him out in the first round. And if not the first, then for sure the second. So maybe Armfield can last the full 15. It's just that's a tough ask. So I like Onama. I like Onama on DraftKings 9,300. I think he's a ton of upside. As far as Armfield, I think he's good. He's okay. He does throw with a lot of power, but it's tough to see him knocking out Onama. So give me Onama inside the distance, and that under 2.5. Onama TKO, yeah, absolutely. I think that KO's live. What's up, Nick Alexander? How you doing, buddy? Let's see here. Catching up with the chat. Mushroom saying Onama inside the distance. Yeah, even like Onama inside the distance, I saw it on 5. I was like minus 130, minus 140. The dude's like minus 900. So yeah, I think there's probably some value on Onama inside the distance. At the end of the day, this guy has a 100% finish rate. And again, I think he's completely leveled up since their last fight. I think he kind of runs through this guy on short notice. Like full camp, full camp is a different story here. Armfield on a full camp, maybe he's able to make it a little bit more competitive. But short notice, up a weight class, Onama with a full camp is terrifying. So I think Onama gets it done. Goodness, minus 177 for the fight doesn't go. Are you talking about Onama inside the distance? The fight doesn't go. Minus 177 is crazy. What's up, Brandon? How you doing? We'll keep moving on, though. We have my next bet of the night. We have Tresean Gore going against Cody Brundage. If you guys have not checked it out, check out the interview that Weezy and Lou did with Cody Brundage on the MMA Engine YouTube channel. It was one of the best things I've ever seen. It was like a breakdown mixed in with an interview. It was awesome. With that said, I have a 1-unit bet on Tresean Gore at minus 113. I think it's a really tough matchup for Cody here. I really like the takedown defense of Tresean Gore. His takedown defense definitely checked out, and this guy's very physically strong as well. He is a brown belt in BJJ, which you got to like to see. And I think on the feet, Cody is definitely going to be in some trouble. I don't trust the striking defense of Cody. I don't trust the chin. We've seen him get hurt in multiple fights. The William Knight fight, he went for takedowns. He got hurt with some elbows. And then in the Dalcha fight, he went for takedowns and got hurt with some punches while going for a takedown. I could see the same thing here, but at range, Gore has a ton of power. Of course, there's some things you don't like about Gore, and that's why I did fade Gore against Brian Battle, and it's that low volume. But in this fight, I do think on the feet he's going to have a significant advantage. His hands are good. Like his hands are fast. He hits with a ton of power. It's just if he can let his hands go, I think this guy can be very dangerous. So stylistically, I like this matchup for Gore. And these Gore like knockout props are insane to me. Gore by knockout plus 275. I think that's kind of where I'd look. I did take him straight because I could see a decision where he is landing the harder shots, but that knockout prop at plus 275 really sticks out. But I'm already on Gore for 1 unit, minus 113. The line has kind of moved since then, like minus 140. And I mean, if Brundage does win, it's probably either him having success with the takedowns, which, okay, that's fine, or I guess maybe doing more than Gore on the feet, which I just don't really see that being a case here. I think on the feet, Brundage could be in trouble. So we'll see what happens. I like Gore to win, and I have a 1-unit bet on him at minus 113. Syed seemed to be 5 inches taller than Silva de Andrade. Yeah, there's a couple different face-offs where you're like, oh, this guy's so much bigger, like Kennedy, Syed as well. And we'll talk about the Caio. The Caio says he's 5'11". He's not 5'11". So Mushroom, I was eating a burger. There you go. LOL still bets Gore while Buddy is all on Brundage. Yeah, sorry. Lou, if you're watching this, sorry. But yeah, I do like Gore quite a bit. Brundage looked bigger at face-off. Yes, he did. He did say on the interview that he did expect to be bigger than Tresean Gore. I'm going to lay off this fight. I have no idea how it will play out. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Just put a bet on Gore plus 250 by KO. Yeah, I don't hate that. Let's see, Brent, I love Gore here. I think it's a good stylistic matchup for him. I mean, I might look him to fade him forward in a different matchup. But I think he could improve. I mean, I saw he was training at Fight Ready, training with some really good guys. I saw he met backed up with Ortega. So he's getting some good looks. So if he can put it all together, let his hands go, I think he could be somebody to look out for in the future. I kind of gave him some crap on Twitter. His last fight against Battle, he said he was going to be the 2-division champion. I don't know about all that, but I do think he can win some fights in the UFC. Yeah, one explosive from Gore, and this fight may be a wrap. Yeah, the dude hits hard. But yeah, best of luck, Cody, friend of the channel. And Wheezy and Lou and Monk are all on Brundage there. So at least 3 of the 4 of the MMA Engine people are on Brundage. But yeah, I like Gore. Antonina Shevchenko going against Courtney Casey. Yeah, 1-800-GAMBLER. I mean, typically when I'm looking to fade Shevchenko, it's going to be somebody that's going to try to take her down. Courtney Casey, only 3 takedowns in the UFC. Do you really want to trust Antonina at minus 170? I don't, but I do think she wins. I think it's on the feet for 15 minutes. I think she's the better striker. If you like Antonina by decision plus 120. I think the fight goes to decision is okay at like minus 185, minus 175. I think those would be the ways I'd look at it. But I don't have a bet on this fight from a DraftKings perspective. Antonina in just an easy fade for me. There's fighters above her I like more. There's fighters below her I like more. And even like Courtney Casey on DraftKings, like if she wins, what's her ceiling? Probably not a ton. Just a fight I'm okay with staying away from a betting perspective and from a DraftKings perspective as well. As far as a pick, I'll take Antonina. But yeah, I'm not betting this fight. Brundage did not sway me his way when Weezy and Lou interviewed him. Yeah, I actually got more confidence in Gore after the interview. I didn't even know that Gore was a brown belt. So I definitely learned a lot in the interview. It was a very good interview. Gore too emotional at face-offs. Yeah, they both got in each other's face. So it was a good face-off. What is your round 1, 2, 3 parlay? Glenn, remind me at the end of the show, and I'll try to come up with one. I'm gonna Courtney Casey all day. Okay, I mean, trust me, I'm the biggest Shevchenko hater out there. But is this a spot to do it? I don't know. I mean, if Casey goes for takedowns, maybe. But she's only got 3 in like her entire career, so I don't know. I called a 1-800-GAMBLER. They answered, and 1-800-GAMBLER answered, and they pretended to be Burger King. What? My goodness. What is up, Mushroom? I agree. All right. We'll keep moving on then, right? We have Ricky Turcios going against Aiemann Zahabi. Turcios, I like him to win. But I don't know. I'll probably be looking to fade this guy in the future. This guy, first of all, he's exciting. Some hype starting to get on this guy. I mean, his personality is awesome. His fighting style is awesome. But my goodness, does he leave a lot of openings defensively? The striking defense is not there. The takedown defense is horrific. But he's active. He's active, and he's probably what I'd say the definition of a minute winner because he's going to be doing something nonstop. Whereas you have Zahabi, who is the complete opposite of a minute winner. He's a moment winner. Zahabi, so low volume. He's a BJJ black belt, but doesn't use his wrestling as much as he should. And maybe he does here, but it's just going to be Turcios doing more, winning the minutes. And if Zahabi does win, it probably means that Zahabi knocked him out, which could happen. You know, Zahabi does hit very hard, and Turcios is content with eating punches with his face. And Turcios has been knocked out before, but I think if this does go to decision, and I'm leaning it too, I think Turcios should win this fight. Just based off of activity. We have one guy that's extremely active in Turcios. We have one guy in Zahabi that's just not active really at all. So I like Turcios by decision, plus 135. No bet on this fight for me, but I know Uncle Weezy was on that scorecards equals no action for Zahabi. I like plus 140. I'm not sure where it's at now, but it makes sense. Like, we'll take a look at the finish rates here. Zahabi, an 88% finish rate. Turcios, a 36% finish rate. Zahabi finishing all but one of his wins. And it's hard to see Turcios really getting a finish here. So I think that's the way I look at it. Zahabi scorecards equals no action. But yeah, not a fight I really want to get too involved in. Gore is probably going to be physically stronger as well, so his money line is a very good bet. Yeah, he's very, very strong. Let's see here. Aiemann Helwani. Yeah, the dude does look like Ariel Helwani. It's kind of freaky. But we do have 52 of you hanging in here with me on a Friday, breaking down UFC Vegas 58. You guys can please hit the like button. My betting breakdown video will be out on my channel after this. And then tomorrow there will be no best bet. I'm going to be doing like a 10-minute best bet video, giving my best bet on each and every fight. That's on my channel, DFS by the Numbers. That's going to premiere at 12 o'clock tomorrow in the afternoon Eastern time. So check that out. We got Uncle Weezy in the chat. What is up, Uncle Weezy saying, oi, what is up? How you doing? And then we also got the Dab Father hanging out. What up, Brady? What is up? All right, guys, let's keep moving on. And then Banana saying, oi, there we go. I like it. All right. Cynthia Calvillo going against Nina Nunes. A lot of 1-800 gambler fights on the card, but this is probably the definition of a 1-800 gambler fight where I stopped betting on fights like these a while ago. I officially retired from doing it, I think, after the Cora McKenna fiasco. And it feels good. Like, I'm saving a lot of money. I'm doing my results are much, much better not betting on fights like these. And if I was still in the business of betting fights on these, I probably would have a bet on Nina Nunes here at plus 125. But I just question where both these fighters are at in their careers. Calvillo on a 3-fight skid looked horrendous in her last fight, quit on the stool after the second round. I'm shocked that she's even getting another opportunity here. We have Nunes, who I don't think she really wants to be here. She took that long layoff. She had a child, came back, looked terrible against Mackenzie Dern, got submitted in the first round. And, stylistically, it's a solid match for Nunes. Typically, Nunes has very good takedown defense, although getting taken down by Dern was not the best look. She should be the better striker. So if I was in the business of betting fights like these still, I probably would be betting Nunes. And I would probably end up with my cell phone in the Ohio River or something after the end of the night. Because these fights always burn me. These fights always burn me no matter what. But yeah, I can't touch it. The fight goes to decisions. Interesting, but either of these fighters could quit. On DraftKings, I'm not touching Calvillo at 8,500. If anything, it's Nunes. But even then, what's her ceiling? Does she score well and win? I'm not convinced. Just a 1-800 gambler, clear pass. Nobody should be betting this fight. So good luck if you are, but my goodness, I don't know how anybody could be on this one. Calvillo, 3rd round decision. Yeah, if she wins, it's going to be by decision, definitely. Nunes talked about retiring. Calvillo retired on the stool. I don't know how someone could put their money on this fight. Yeah, Nunes did talk about retiring. And then Calvillo, both of these fighters could very well retire after this fight. Every time I think of laying money on this fight, I remind myself how good it feels to not rely on women's MMA. Pass, absolutely. It's a terrible feeling, especially on fights like this. Just a terrible, terrible feeling. Let's see here. 1 second, guys. All right. My goodness. Let's move on. Jaimie Mullarkey going against Michael Johnson. Mullarkey minus 235, Johnson plus 195. I don't know. I don't really get this line. I get people are trying to fade Michael Johnson, but Jaimie Mullarkey, walking punching bag, 47% strike and defense, knocked out 3 times, just got knocked out a few months ago, coming back way too soon. Like, is that a guy you want to lay minus 235 on? I don't. I get why he's a favorite, and I'd line him a favorite as well. It's just minus 235. With how hittable and how chinny this guy is, I don't know. But yeah, he should win this fight, especially mixing in the takedowns. Michael Johnson, typically a very good takedown defense. He has been submitted 9 times. I know some people are on that Mullarkey submission prop at plus 500, which even then, not something I'd be running to the window for. I think if anything, I would probably look towards the Michael Johnson side at like a knockout prop, if anything. But I stopped betting Michael Johnson fights a long time ago. This guy is about as inconsistent as you can get, whether he's going out there and pulling a stun and losing, or when you're counting him out, he goes out there and looks phenomenal. Just so hit or miss in Michael Johnson. So, yeah, I'm not betting anything on this fight. I don't bet Michael Johnson fights anymore. Mullarkey, 9,100 on DraftKings. I like it. I think this should be a fast-paced fight. I think it probably does finish. And Mullarkey does have takedown upside. On the flip side, Michael Johnson at 7,100. Knockout upside. He does hit hard. And Mullarkey does eat punches with his face willingly. So from a DraftKings perspective, that's where I do have more interest. But from a betting perspective, just nothing really sticks out. Like, the fight doesn't go to decisions, like minus 250 on some books. Yeah, I don't know about all that. So I'm going to take Mullarkey to win, but just, yeah, nah, you can't be confident in Mullarkey at this price tag. Does Mullarkey win inside the distance? I think he could. Michael Johnson typically has a very good chin. Michael Johnson's only been knocked out, twice in 37 fights. He's been submitted a lot. Is Mullarkey going to submit him? I don't know. I think he could win inside the distance, but it's not something I'd be willing to really bet on. And yeah, probably just going to pass there. Mullarkey getting starched here. It could happen. It could happen. I mean, it's hittable. Johnson hits hard. Wouldn't shock me. I will bet this fight because I'm a fucking degenerate gambler. There you go. There you go. Nunes is a steal here, in my opinion. She's going to look bigger despite coming down a weight class. Better everywhere, slaughter. And I've never bet dogs. Yeah, she could look like a steal. She could. I don't really want to find out. But yeah, I think she could. Yep, coming back way too soon. Johnson is an all-time great at looking great until he doesn't. Absolutely. Locker, what is up, Mills? Is saying I got dog money or beer money, or beer and dog money. Money on the dog. MJ got a moonwalk on Mullarkey. There you go. Hey, I mean, I'd rather be on the MJ side than the Mullarkey side myself, but I just don't want to bet this fight. I had to take a shot on MJ at plus 210. Mullarkey's getting slept, coming back too fast. MJ cracks. All true. All true. The next fight is one to stay away from. Yeah, we'll talk about that one. That definitely is. Who did you pick, Calvillo or Nunes? I picked Shot the Mushroom. The fight to go to disappointment. I don't think anybody wins that fight, but no, I'll go with Nunes as far as a pick, but I'm not betting it. Johnson KO. Fight doesn't go under 2.5, under 1.5. Violence. Yeah, I don't hate a shot on the Johnson KO. I think I saw like plus 420 on FanDuel. Okay, Mullarkey will get starched. I don't see head movement from him. Yeah, no head movement, no striking defense to speak of. And again, he's coming back too soon. So we'll see what happens. Minus 235 on Mullarkey is nuts, though, but I'll pick him to win. I think he grinds this one out. All right, next we have another 1-800 gambler fight of the night. We have Jared Vanderaa going against Chase Sherman. This would be a lot simpler if I knew the game plan of Vanderaa. If I knew that Vanderaa would take down Chase Sherman, I would be, minus 205 is fine. If he does not take down Chase Sherman, he probably does not look minus 205 at all. It's probably competitive, at least early on. But yeah, one takedown, the fight's over. I mean, somebody should tell Jared Vanderaa, hey, go out there and take down Chase Sherman. If he does that, he probably finishes him instantly. Like, Chase Sherman's ground game is some of the worst you'll ever see. He went out there and got submitted by Jake Collier. There's no resistance to anything. I mean, Vanderaa is a black belt. Vanderaa has great ground and pound. Can we trust him to go out there and get takedowns? I'm not so sure. If he does, he's going to look like a massive favorite. If he doesn't, it's going to be a close fight. Man, yeah, Vanderaa, if anything, I was looking at Vanderaa inside the distance, but this is another fight where I'm like, how bad is it going to suck when I bet Jared Vanderaa and he goes out there and just strikes with Chase Sherman for 3 rounds? It's going to suck bad. He has one takedown in the UFC. He was actually on the Contender Series against Harry Hunsucker. Since then, since like 5 or 6 fights, he's attempted 0 takedowns. So can we trust him to take down Chase Sherman? I can't. But if you think he does, then he probably smashes Chase Sherman. But I just don't know if I can trust him to do so. So, yeah, I can't bet this fight. The pick's Vanderaa. If I was to bet it, it probably would be a shot on Vanderaa inside the distance. But I just feel like if I bet that, I'd be highly disappointed in myself by the end of that fight. So Vanderaa on DraftKings, and even like Sherman on DK. Like, if Vanderaa does not take this fight down to the mat on the feet, Vanderaa has a 44% striking defense, which is horrendous. Sherman does hit hard. Sherman is a finisher. So I don't mind some shots on Sherman as a dog, but Vanderaa should win this fight if he uses his wrestling. But how many times do we say that? If fighter A goes out there and does this, fighter A will look like a huge favorite. How many times do we say that? And how many times do they do the complete opposite? So it's really hard to trust Jared Vanderaa to make smart choices in the cage, and therefore I can't be betting him here. So picks Vanderaa. I think he should win, but just can't trust him. Vanderaa should roll, but anyone can trust a walking concussion to make good decisions in the cage. Not really, absolutely. Vanderaa inside the distance fight doesn't go under 2.5. Yeah, all those hit if Vanderaa goes for takedowns. If Vanderaa gets a sub, I'm eating Wagyu for the week. Yeah, Vanderaa by submission is plus 600. I think I saw plus 700. I don't hate that. I mean, he should sub this guy. I feel like this one's going to decision, and it probably does if Vanderaa does not go for takedowns. Yep, Vanderaa plus 700 by sub. It could be worth a sprinkle, but again, it's another prop where I feel like I'm going to be very disappointed when Vanderaa does not go for takedowns. Yeah, exactly. If Chase gets taken at once, the fight's over. Because Vanderaa is actually good on the mat. You know, I would like to see him use his wrestling more of that. And that black belt that he has, the ground and pound. It's all very good. It's just he doesn't use it as much. So we'll see if he does this fight. If he does it, he's going to roll. If he doesn't, it's going to be close. All right, Syed Nurmagomedov going against Douglas Silva, Andrade. 3 fights left. Kind of a shorter show this week, guys. Syed Nurmagomedov minus 350. Douglas Silva, Andrade plus 285. And yeah, my finger right over the trigger on Nurmagomedov at like minus 240. Was going to play him here, ended up passing, and now he's minus 350. As far as like a parlay piece, and I would caution any parlays on this card. I would not really parlay anything. But as far as a parlay piece, I think he's the one parlay piece I would look towards. Minus 350, it's definitely disrespectful. Like, you know, Andrade is no bum, but Nurmagomedov is going to be younger, much younger. He's going to be bigger. He's going to have more volume on the feet. And yeah, by the way, somebody mentioned it at the weigh-ins. Like, I was not expecting Nurmagomedov to be that much bigger. Yeah, Nurmagomedov 5'8", Douglas Silva and Andrade 5'7", and that was a good like 4 inches of height difference there. So, yeah, he's much bigger, much younger, better striker, more volume, better grappler, better wrestler, just better everywhere. But Andrade is a dog. He's very tough. He hits very hard. You can't completely count him out, but I feel like it's a really good spot for Syed. It's just, yeah, the line kind of got away. Minus 350. I see minus 400. I liked him at minus 240 a little bit, but now that it's like this, it's like, okay, I'm just going to pass. So Nurmagomedov on DK, 9,200. Yes, it's fine. I feel like he could win by knockout. I feel like he could win by submission. I feel like he could win by decision. So yeah, I like Nurmagomedov quite a bit. Not a lot to be confident in on this card, but guys like David Onama getting the finish, guys like Syed Nurmagomedov going out there and getting the job, I can be confident in those two. So yeah, give me Nurmagomedov with some confidence here, but just can't bet it because there's nothing that sticks out. Like Nurmagomedov inside the distance minus 105, Nurmagomedov by decision plus 225. It's not really anything sticking out to me, but yeah, as far as parlay piece, if you guys like parlays, a lot of people do. Nurmagomedov as a parlay piece is not the worst look in the world. Andrade was the most ripped human being I've ever seen, and he's like 37. It's crazy. Dagestani tax is no joke. Yeah, there's definitely a Dagestani tax and Nurmagomedov tax because, yeah, the line's just wild. But he should win. He should win the fight. All right, we will move on to the co-main event. Caio Borralho going against Armen Petrosyan. Another line where I'm gonna have to start like taping fights and getting like 2 or 3 weeks ahead because some of you guys are just on the ball. I see a lot of people got Caio Borralho at like minus 140 last week. I saw somebody got minus 135, and yeah, I would have liked to bet Caio at that price tag. By the time I got around to taping it, I was like minus 182. I was like, not really interested in laying that. I think he should win, but I think minus 182, minus 190 is about right. And then now he's like minus 230, and I'm just not touching that. But I think if he goes out there and fights smart, which I think he will, he has great fight IQ. I think he looks like a big favorite here. Petrosyan, hole in his game is that takedown defense. His takedown defense is some of the worst you'll ever see. What I will say in a lot of his fights, he is getting back up. But his opponents are like lower level guys. They're slowing down. I see him getting held against the cage. He's giving up his back a ton. Kyle's very good at taking the back. I feel like it's a great spot for Caio Borralho, but I don't want to completely rule out Petrosyan. Like Petrosyan's no joke on the feet. He went out there against Gregory Rodriguez and looked phenomenal on the feet, which is very impressive. And beating Gregory Rodriguez, whether it was a close fight or not, was very impressive. But Caio just has such a clear path to victory here in terms of getting the takedowns that I think he should get this done. it's just the props that are tough here. Like the fight doesn't go to decision, -155. It's stuck out, but Kyle is a fighter where his fight IQ is top notch. He's not going to go in there and really force a finish. If it comes to him, it comes to him. But I could see a scenario where he just controls Petrosyan for 3 rounds. I feel like I could see a scenario where he just kind of grinds this one out, fighting smart, just getting that win. I don't know if he's going to go out of his way to get that finish, and that is what is kind of taking me off of Borralho inside the distance, Borralho by sub, stuff like that. But I'll pick Caio to submit him, but you're not getting a ton of value on the sub prop. Plus 270, they're all over it, which is the second worst prop on the card. I think Vanderaa by sub, I think I saw it like Vanderaa by sub was like plus 600. So yeah, give me Caio Borralho to win. Give me Caio Borralho to win by sub. On DraftKings, I like him. Takedown upside, submission upside. And yeah, I'm not sure what is going on. I guess I made a mistake here. I think this might be like plus 3,000 or something. I think it might be plus 3,000 because Petrosyan by sub is not plus 300. All right. Yep, Caio for the win. And yeah, I don't hate him as a parlay piece, but the line is just clearly wide. Yep, Sean Brady versus Belal Muhammad. Brady Muhammad announced for October. Man, that's a good one. Thoughts? It's gonna be a very good fight. I wish it was 5 rounds, but it looks like it's gonna be 3 rounds, right? That should be a fun fight. Initial thoughts? Good fight. I like both fighters. Vanderaa by Ezekiel 100-1. Is that so? I don't know. Some people are calling that this week. Kyle, 3rd round decision, sprinkling Petrosyan by KO. Yeah, if Petrosyan wins, it's going to be by KO. Petrosyan by KO is like plus 350. All right, guys. Last fight to break down. We have the main event. Rafael Fiziev going against Rafael dos Anjos. And I do have a bet on this fight on a card where I don't have a ton of bets. This is my last bet on the card. And it is the fight doesn't go to decision. 1 unit, plus 120. This is a more so an analytics play. If you guys have been on the channel for a couple of weeks now, me and Weezy do a show called Probability where we take a data-driven look into all the props. And one thing that we like to look at for 5-round fights, and we don't like to look at it, we have to look at it, is the 5-round analytics compared to the 3-round analytics. And the 5-round 155-pound fights, they finish at a 70% clip. And with the fight doesn't go at plus 120, that is a 45.5% implied probability. Therefore, we're getting a very big break in price in that aspect. And then even like stylistically, you look at the matchup, and Fiziev obviously going to be very live for a knockout at any point. This guy hits like a truck. Yes, RDA has only been knocked out 3 times, 2 in the UFC. But Fiziev does hit very, very hard. On the flip side, if RDA is able to push a pace, get this fight extended, and get this fight down to the mat at any point in time, really, he's a legit BJJ black belt, and he's submitted some very good guys in his career. And I feel like if he gets on top of Fiziev, the sub could very well be there. So not only do I like it from an analytics standpoint, with the 155-pound fights finishing at a 70% clip, I think stylistically you have a striker in Fiziev, a grappler in Dos Anjos. I think stylistically there could be a finish here, whether it's a Fiziev knockout or a Dos Anjos submission at some point. So don't hit a shot. The fight doesn't go to decision. Is it my favorite play in the world? No. Do I like anything on this card? Not really, but that's the spot I do have in this fight. I think Dos Anjos money line is interesting. Fiziev minus 230 is kind of wild to me because there are a lot of question marks. What does he look like in the 4th or 5th round? We've seen him slow down numerous times in the 3rd round. On Dos Anjos, decision only, like plus 180, I think is interesting. I think if Fiziev wins, it's probably by knockout. But yeah, give me Dos Anjos for like the upset pick. But I see why a lot of people are on Fiziev. Like 95% takedown defense. I like that for him, although this is going to be his toughest test in that aspect. And he's going to clearly be the better striker. So yeah, if you think Fiziev keeps on the feet, stuffs the takedowns, he should probably, he'll probably look minus 230 or wider. But if Dos Anjos gets the fight down to the mat or gets this fight extended, pushes the pace, I think it could get a little interesting here. But yeah, my bet is on that fight doesn't go. I kind of think it covers both sides, and I like it from an analytics perspective. Shout out to Probability and shout out to Uncle Weezy. That was one of the spots we did like last night. All right, a couple more questions and we'll get out of here. Yeah, Sean saying Fiziev, yep, that's the narrative, 95%. But who has tried to take him down? Alex White. Bobby Green, guys like that, Mark Diakese. So I mean, there's a difference of level than RDA and Alex White, but I get what you're saying. All right, Mushroom, what is your 1, 2, 3 parlay? Round 1 is going to be give me David Onama. Give me David Onama round 1. Round 2 is going to be Tresean Gore. And then round 3, that's where it gets tricky. Round 3 is going to be round 3. I like the round 1. I like the round 2. Round 3 is going to be I'll say Jaimie Mullarkey. Jaimie Mullarkey round 3. I can't really or Jared Vanderaa. I'll say Jaimie Mullarkey round 3. But yeah, that's the only thing that really sticks out. So round 1, Onama, round 2, Gore, and then Mullarkey round 3. Not like RD is a great wrestler. He's a jiu-jitsu guy that shoots. He's a decent wrestler, but yeah, his jiu-jitsu's next level. That is true. That is true. Yeah, I think Fiziev can absolutely win. It's just people are saying like bet the house on Fiziev. He's a lock, and I just don't agree with that. But yeah, he could win. I think it's a solid matchup for him. But just some question marks. Like his cardio is extremely suspect. If this fight does hit the mat, like what's going to happen then? All right. Onama, Gore, Turcios, Vanderaa, Syed here. Just a little change on it. And yeah, I agree with all of them. Let's see here. Give me Turcios by sub plus 850. I know it's hard with 1 sub on the record, but just rewatched the Brady fight and took it Brady grappling Zahabi. Zahabi's a black belt. His grappling is really good. We don't get to see his grappling a lot, but he's a good grappler. But I mean, Ricky's probably going to throw up submission attempts off his back if he gets taken down. Brady does Syed Nurmagomedov go to the second round. I would lean towards yeah, but you're going to be laying like minus 600 on that, which not something I would do, but I think it goes to the second. Mike's saying my parlay is Borralho and Nurmagomedov. A very popular parlay this week, and rightfully so. Both guys should get it done. All right, guys, we did it. We did it. 12 fights. I'll quickly go through my bets. Yeah, keeping it super light. Tresean Gore 1 unit minus 113. Under 2.5 rounds. Armfield Onama minus 175. 2 units on that, and then 1 unit on the fight doesn't go. Fiziev Anjos. Sketchy card. Keeping it light. I'm gonna start looking into next week after I get off of here. Leave a like on your way out. Subscribe. All the good stuff, and check out my betting breakdown video, which will be out in about like three minutes or so. And then also tomorrow for best bet, it's going to be an upload. No Uncle Weezy, no Narco Cop, no Eric. It's going to be like a 10-minute upload, giving my best bet for each and every fight. Best of luck, everybody. One last question there. It's Caio Borralho to shave the ass of Armen Petrosyan. And appreciate you much for hanging out. Appreciate you, Cole, all you guys. Mike, free UFC bet picks. Potato in here. Appreciate y'all hanging out. PayPal, all you guys. Leave a like on the way out. Subscribe. Best of luck for UFC Vegas 58.